Uh, Tell us all about FM radio.
So the FM radio thing is actually in conjunction with the whole 5G airport nightmare that's going around right now. So what it's basically talking about is how at certain FM signals it can mess around with the car's computer systems, and it's mostly revolving around the whole automated driving detection warning system that are in some of the newer Teslas. Apparently, the signal can disrupt it, causing errors, glitches, and the car to run off the road when it's in the automated mode, is what I mean. So that's where that whole thing about getting rid of FM radio is coming from. However, the thing is that it's not as simple as removing FM radio because a lot of news stations, uh, of course, normal, good old fashioned radio stations, a handful of some of the talk radio stations also.
Yeah.
All, yeah, they all use FM, so it's almost impossible to get rid of FM at this point unless you make like a very big push. But I don't think anybody is really going to make that big of a push for it. There's also been like a similar push for AM radio, but that one's even harder because that AM radio is even more ingrained into uh, day-to-day activities.
Yeah.
So that's a fun little debacle. However, 5G on the other hand, that one is revolving around air traffic control towers and how certain 5G phone signals can actually screw up with the ground collision avoidance system and some ATC communications. It's the main reason why if you have a 5G phone, they normally ask you to turn off or turn your phone onto airplane mode so that that doesn't happen. They've gone through multiple fixes, and now that issue is almost completely gone, but it's still a possible occurrence. That's pretty much radio in a nutshell, and how that whole thing is. There's people. It's both a positive and a negative thing, and people agree to disagree with the whole situation. It's like, okay, you have your thing, I have my thing. We, it's both an issue and beneficial at the same time. So that's that whole thing in a nutshell.
Well, and they're making it a political issue, even though it's not
Yeah,
one.
yeah, it's really not. You can ask the electrical engineers that work on the radio stations and that kind of equipment. It's like, yeah, no, it's not that big of an issue that they're trying to make it out to be. But yeah. So you're purely speedrunning Act Zero of the game.
No, this is Act 0 and Act 1.
Oh, okay. So Act Zero is just this like
It
text
goes.
conversation.
Yeah, so it's the initial little exit the house, grab the newspaper, text conversation, bike ride, and then a cutscene that I skip.
Oh, that's that whole um
Exit to
exit
title,
to main.
yeah, and load
Yeah,
adventure.
convenient. Well, you, I think. How long did it take you to figure out where to take the conversation?
I've spent, I want to say, like, the past 5 days spending a couple hours just going through. I started to realize there's a lot of repeats. I think it was yesterday I started copying and pasting like hundreds of lines because I did this all in Excel since it's the only one I can do this far in depth of, you know, this decision leads to this decision leads to this decision, so on and so forth.
I see. I didn't realize this game went that in depth.
I want to say the highest number of decisions is like 18.
Oh, jeez.
This route is only 14. It's the shortest, best ending route.
Huh.
I think there's a decent ending that can be 13, but it's not much faster.
And then I think that question I asked got lost somewhere in the chat, but that's boss skip. Is that a specific lever switch?
Yeah, so it in your previous it recalls what your previous lever switch was in the game files. So like right now it remembers my last switch was the left one and it was a blue decision. So I don't know. I'll try doing the right lever, but I think at this point I'm always gonna get a red door. That was a really bad corner for the cars to spawn on.
At least it didn't immediately reset the whole thing.
Yeah. Well, it resets you where you were when you got hit. I think you can get hit twice before it will kill you.
I wish that was realistic logic.
Yeah, it's not realistic at all.
Wow, you did the Act 0 6 seconds faster.
Yeah, I think my best segment in that section is 353. But that's basically from somehow getting the conversation to immediately have Ethan immediately respond instead of waiting several seconds for the ... to go away and the text to show up. I don't know how to make it do that. I just luck into it every so often.
You want to hear about the T3 freshman nightmares?
T3? We have no T3.
Oh, T2. Sorry.
They'll never have a T3.
No. T2 will be demolished by the time T3 gets built.
They're demolishing T2?
No, but they might have to because it's sliding off the cliff.
Oh no.
You didn't know this?
No.
So apparently this will be the first one. So apparently they constructed the foundation incorrectly for T2, and every year, barring drastic weather changes, it slips. Like, I forgot the exact value, but it's like a quarter of an inch off the side of the mountain. And I don't know if they're addressing the issue. The only major notice of anything actually happening is random cracks appearing throughout the structure, but they're very small and they're really hard to notice.
Don't ask me how I did it.
All right. But yeah. So T2 is slowly slipping off the cliff, and I get my near constant updates about the situation from Hayden. He likes to keep me up to date on the T2 situation because it's like, Because I keep asking him, like, are they ever going to fix it? He says, I don't know if they are. Apparently, they're focusing on the wind tunnel upgrades than housing. And I'm like, of course they are.
Well, considering that our current chancellor canceled them building T3, I'm
Oh,
not surprised.
that's why we don't have a T3.
Yeah, the modulars were supposed to be destroyed and T3 was supposed to be built in their place.
Oh, I
And then
thought that
that
was
never
supposed to be.
happened.
I thought the modulars were going to be T4 and T3 was supposed to go in between T1 and T2.
Maybe. I have no idea.
Yeah, apparently that whole side of the campus is supposed to be four three-story structures, with the biggest one being in the center where the modulars are because they have the space to make that a pretty decent sized structure. But who knows? We'll be long dead by the time T3 gets built, at least at this point.
No. You get a decent chancellor in there again, and T3 will get built.
Yeah.
It doesn't help that a serious hailstorm, like a year and a half ago, um, destroyed millions of dollars in planes.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, that sucked. That actually sucked.
I remember freshman year there was that huge hole in the road in front of T2
Uh-huh.
that they did like patchwork on. And then that same year they also spent $11 million on planes and helicopters. It's like, why?
Yeah, their priorities is all over the place. Oh, what was another freshman story? Oh, did you hear about the axe incident?
No, not that I recall.
So you mentioned the firearm, which was one of them. The other one was an axe situation. On floor 2, someone brought an axe and then started chucking it around the place. And it embedded itself into a couple of walls, I think, and I think one of the doors. So
Oh my
they're like,
god.
I walked by it and I'm like, so this is a here's Johnny incident. And one of the neighbors says, yes, it was. It was a horror story to say the least. I'm like saying, how did this even happen? In the first place, that no one really knew. No one even saw him bring it on campus. No one saw him. It just happened. One random night, it just happened. And for some reason, all of this stuff happens between the hours of 8 p.m. and midnight. Um, but that happened. Then there was the racing desks incident. Um, did you guys have the dressers with wheels on the bottom of them?
No.
Yeah, so each one of the dorms had four dressers that had wheels on the bottom of them. For some odd reason, they had doors on them, or wheels on them. And some of the more interesting members of T3 said, "Hey, let's turn these into glorified racing or racing vehicles." So I hear this like rolling whoosh, someone screaming their lungs out, and then a crash. And I walk out of my dorm, look down the hall, and I see this dresser in a couple pieces and a bunch of dents in the wall, and someone laying like on their side, groaning in pain. So I'm like, you guys started playing racing with those things. So that was that incident. Um, there's like a bunch of those small instances. Also, T2's walls are extremely thin,
Yes, they are.
and you can hear everything going on in the room next to you.
Can I? Thank you. I 18831. I recall the numerous times I was doing the peer tutoring in that building in the evenings on Sunday and Monday and whatnot, and
What did
absolutely
you
hearing
hear?
all of the bathrooms flushing because the
Oh,
pipes are in those rooms, and the study rooms on the first floor.
yes. That's not even half of the noise that you could hear on those days. Um, it became popular for people to switch roommates randomly throughout the freshman semester. Um,
Fascinating.
and by switching roommates, I mean like half of a girl's room would go to the guy would move into the guy's room, and half of the guy's room would move into the girl's room.
Is that even allowed?
Technically, well, back then, no. But the way that they got away with it is that they only did it for the night. Their clothes, their personal effects, all that still stayed put, but they physically just picked up and moved themselves into different rooms. Now that technically wasn't, so they found the loophole there where it's like they could sleep in the other room without causing any issues. It came to the point where Michael and I had the issue, since we were on the third floor, that the people to our left, and the people below us started doing this about, what was it, 2 months into the semester. And and then we started hearing noises at night, every night, at 9:30 p.m. on the dot. And you could probably, since you're
Yes.
streaming, I'm not going to put the words into this. You could guess
They
what
were
I'm.
doing the naughties.
There we go. I forgot the correct way to say that.
That is absolutely stolen from a YouTube channel called The Click, but it fits.
It
It
fits this
works.
situation. But yeah, that's what they were doing. Um, and Michael and I, for a solid 2 months, neither one of us got any sleep. Because it was just a very clear banging sound. And it didn't help that the bunk beds weren't the quietest thing in the world. And then it also didn't help the fact that they put the bunk bed all the way up against the wall so that it smacked the wall. It was actually the bunk bed smacking the wall that caused us the most amount of noise issues than them actually going at it like rabbits. And and it became a joke between Michael and I, and we were trying to figure out how do these two still have the stamina to go at it every single day of the week for a couple of hours without stopping. I'm like, where do they get their superhuman stamina from? And we could never figure it out. We also couldn't figure out how she wasn't pregnant by the end of freshman year because of how much they were going at it.
Who's to say that she didn't get pregnant?
That's true, because we never confirmed we never got confirmation nor a denial that did occur. All that we know is that the two of them were still together by graduation.
Holy cow. That's
Yeah,
actually impressive.
yeah, they actually sophomore year they got themselves a one bedroom apartment together. The reason why I know this is because they were what was it, 10 doors down from my apartment. They were next door neighbors with me again, but luckily they were so far away that I couldn't even hear what the heck was going on with them. So I'm like, yay, they're not going to cause noise complaints anymore. Um, but yeah, that was like just a small number of instances.
uh,
Um,
I
oh yeah, then
there was in the modulars. This was senior year, so I was in the village hall. Um, But all of like there are these sirens and police officers. Turns out, somebody was charging something, and I guess it's caught on fire. I don't know how, but it did. There was just a small fire in the modulars.
Huh.
I feel like there were like 9 different sets of sirens outside them. Like 2 or 3 fire trucks, a couple ambulances, several police cars.
Oh, that's what was passing by my apartment. That puts things into perspective. I didn't realize it was the modulars. I thought it was T1. I like how it gave you the easiest one last.
Yeah, that's nice. I don't have to drop down anymore.
Um, then there was the nightclub incident, but that but that that was so sketchy that people both believe it was real and not real at the same time. Did you hear about that one?
No, I did not.
Yeah, apparently someone created a nightclub in one of the dorm areas, and it became very popular very quickly. Um, and and it was just like a bunch of rumors revolving around the
Can I
whole
jump down?
situation.
No, I can't.
Yeah, it was strange to say the least. Um, what other weird things happened on campus when I was still a member of campus society? Um, oh yeah, then there was the whole Julian wanting to build a small laser to laser off all of the sticky notes off the windows. You should know this one.
I don't. Julie never told me that story.
Yeah, so on T2, facing towards campus, people started putting up sticky notes of random things and whatnot. And Julian wanted to make a fun prank out of it by building his own little laser system so that he could just micro laser off the glue that was holding the sticky notes to the window. He almost finished it, but then we all went off campus, so he never got the opportunity to put it into action. um, and one of them was a binary code for please send nudes in binary. And I'm like, that person is most dedicated out there to put that on their window in binary.
I recall that. Someone did
Yeah,
something similar. God.
really.
Someone, I think, did something similar in like Morse code or something.
Yeah, yeah. T2 was a interesting hodgepodge of instances. Oh yeah, then there was the whole fire drill in the middle of winter incident. Apparently, they didn't inform us ahead of time that they were doing a fire drill. So when we actually went out there, you always stand right there when he passes by.
Yeah, well, I have to wait for him to walk down from up here. Because he likes to walk up here, I guess. Sadly.
At least he didn't glitch through the wall.
Yeah, that was a weird one-time thing. I don't even think it would have helped me. Except for, you know, fall through the floor.
Hmm. But yeah, so during one of the winter fire drills, someone came sprinting out of the building wearing nothing but a towel.
Oh no.
I'm looking at this at this girl. I'm like, I feel so bad for you. And then someone quickly threw a jacket to her so that she wouldn't freeze. Then the person doing the fire drill looked at us and they're like, we should have planned this better. I'm like, yeah, think. I don't care if you guys make a fire drill random or not, but a little bit of preemptive knowledge might prevent that
Well, then
incident from
usually
happening.
they do tell you.
Yeah, we only knew about what hour it was going to be at, but they didn't give us a specific minute. So they just said it was sometime at 8 p.m. on this day, and we're like, okay. Next thing we know, it's like 8:44 p.m. Fire alarm went off. So
Oh my gosh,
that's what I
Ben.
meant by random. We knew the hour, but not the exact time. You know, when I read the split the first time, beat the helpsy, um, I read that as beat the helpy, and I'm like, helpy? We're playing FNAF right now? And when did helpy become an enemy?
Helpy's always an enemy.
Fair enough.
Six, eight, six, two.
You got any more weird college stories?
Um, trying to think. Weird college stories. Where's this button? Absolutely struggling trying to find that button. This might take me a minute. Stories usually come to me. I don't normally go looking for them.
Also, I like what you did with the change to the streaming screen.
Yeah.
It's actually really pretty color.
I'm I tried adding an animation. I went through several different variations before I landed on just, you know, a simple kind of border area. I'm walking backwards, I think. I don't know where I'm going now.
Half the time when I'm
Did I
watching,
turn around? I think I did. I just straight up turned around. Thanks. Thanks, game. How did I end up over here again? Oh, because I didn't go far enough forward. That's why I'm supposed to go back this way. Here we go. Alright, continue.
half the time I'm watching you play this, it looks like you're moving in like a diagonal, not actually moving forward to me.
Yeah, I am moving at a diagonal, which is why it's really hard to see where I'm going.
Is there a reason
Faster.
why?
It's
Oh,
an issue with movement caps, like movement speed caps.
mhm.
The reason why this doesn't happen in like Help Wanted. Great, did I get turned around? Sorry, not jeez, Ruin. Why this doesn't happen in Ruin is because the they make it so that no matter which direction you're traveling in, it's always the same speed. So even if you have like 2 movement keys at the same time, you're still moving at the same speed. It's just a programming thing essentially, as far as I could tell.
Was this a one-person game?
Yeah, it's a
Or
single player.
no. I mean, the people who developed it. Was it one person or like a small group?
I think
'Cause
it's
the
one
credits seem
person.
short.
That's why like 2.0's been in development for a really long time.
Ah.
I think there might be someone else involved now. But yeah.
For a one-man team, this is a pretty solid game.
It is. Game takes a lot longer to complete if you don't know where you're going. I mean, we're talking like at least an hour longer.
Oh, that bad.
Well, cause like, you might initially trust Helpsy, so you might continue to walk with Helpsy, and that'll lead you to Helpsy killing you. I can, after this run, I can show off stuff. Well, we'll stop the speedrunning. I can show off a bit of the rest of the game, because I can just load in to certain areas.
Also, the blinking animation. This is like one of the few games I've seen that actually has blinking animations.
Yeah, it's an actual mechanic. If you
Oh.
go insane, like when the surrounding area gets a little wobbly, that's because I hadn't blinked in a while.
Oh, you're the one actually controlling the blinking?
Yes.
I thought it was just automatic because it just looked like it was at such a regular pace
Thank you.
that yeah, I thought that was just automatically happening. I didn't realize it was you doing a button click. Also, this whole skeleton scene is hilarious.
Yep.
Hey, boneheads. Why don't you pick on someone your own size? I mean, why don't you pick on someone your own
I like how they just stop.
aliveness? Wait, that doesn't make any sense. I'm just gonna pull this lever now. Forget I was ever. There. Next time you do that, you should throw some back from.
And now we just wait.
of
Right.
complete. Elevator stopped.
Pull up. Why don't we?
Looks like you saved another 2 minutes.
From my my original PB, yeah. It is. A lot of the time save is really from just being faster and going through Lazarette's area, which is fascinating. This is a serious PB for Glitchless, so.
I think that time skip at Lazarette was from you figuring out that it's on a designated path.
Yeah, it's partially that. It's also because I hit the time at a different point than when I originally did that. Because these times are pulled from my PB on speedrun.com because I don't have the splits on this computer.
I swear, it's the same one too. Hi.
Let's finish this up first.
Was that another
My
e-fix?
name is, Lucy.
Oh, what?
Was that another e-fix that just died there?
No, that was another cartoonist.
Oh.
But yeah, so I forgot to split after I beat Lazarette that time. Looking back at it, I had made the split after I picked up the help C. Because that's when I realized, wait a second, I failed to split at this point. Probably not splitting at the same point either for help C, but there's no consistency with any of it. I might as well just have the timer and that's it. There's no point in having splits.